and things of this nature to get him to open up. And then a lot of the play, a lot of his letters ended up in the play, stuff I couldn't make up.
Yeah.
As for prison life, yeah, I've been to prison twice, once on a research trip, once to visit a friend.
Yeah.
Clean criminal record so far, 47. Night's young, but you know, who knows. Didn't want to do the standard kind of prison stuff we've seen a million times. I wanted to, and James was able to give me a lot of weird little detail.
Yeah.
Just in the fact that they don't even call each other cellmates, because mate has certain connotations. It's cell partner and stuff like that. Right. And the weird restrictions. And this is Texas, you know, where they have a drive-in window. You know, go ahead, lethal injection. Governor said hi. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought it was an original take on something that obviously, you know, has been done a lot in the theater. I was struck by the line that is applied at one point to one of the characters, who's the mass murderer, and he's just the person. The other character says, "The one person who loved him taught him how to hate."
Right.
I mean, perhaps I didn't get that quite right, but
that
was the idea. Does this reflect your view, I wonder, just to diverge a little bit from playwriting, that conditioning of family and society and so forth creates the behavior?
I think it comes, the root is the parents, and outside influences. There's that rare case, that bad seed genetic thing that's just, and I saw it as a teacher. You'd see a family, you'd teach 3 of the kids and 2 were great, you knew the parents, and that you got to the 3rd one and the middle one, it was just something Anthony Perkins-like, about him. And you just go, what's the deal?
Could be birth order there, too.
Well, that's, the youngest one usually, But, so that was part of it, but that really wasn't what I was interested in. It's just, I speculate a little. I always said, if I wasn't a writer, I'd probably be a serial killer, So all these weird things I have in my own head, I'm able to get out. And I mean, I have a whole list of people I want killed in a play early one evening at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. A guy reels off, and they were all people I wanted dead at the time. I used their real names.
Oh, that's funny.
My 11th grade English teacher.
So writing is a cathartic experience for you.
Yeah.
And do you feel it's something you need? It's therapeutic. You need to do it.
Yeah.
It's a compulsion.
To a certain extent.
Okay. I mean, you do write a lot. You're prolific.
If I don't, if a day goes by without writing, on Sundays during Eagles season, it's tough, because
so you're an
it's
Eagles
1 o'clock.
fan.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
I want you to tell me about that.
Yeah, I have a play called The Philly Fan that showcased in the Fringe Festival. And we open at the Arden. It's Tom McCarthy, Philadelphia's favorite actor.
It's a one-man show.
It's a one-man show about the frustrations of being a Philly sports fan. We open in March and run into April down at the Arden.
Very popular.
It was sold out and people who never go to the theater came to see. People would be out there in Eagles, stuff. When we started 5 minutes late, they were stomping on the floor and doing Eagles cheers and stuff. This is not the people who go to the Wilma. Our average age was about 30 years over what the Fringe Festival usually gets. It was just a bizarre. I really expected to see tailgating, outside Mum Puppet Theater where we were doing this.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing it. You also wrote a TV movie called The Hunt for the Unicorn Killer about Philadelphia's hippie guru, Ira Einhorn. Einhorn murdered his girlfriend, Holly Maddox, fled the country, and lived in France for 20 years before being extradited, for those who don't know this story.
Right.
You wrote this before he was brought back.
Yes.
And tell us about what made you want to write this and what you learned, if anything, about Ira Einhorn in the process of writing it.
I wanted to write it because it was a big check. Just to be honest with you.
Were you asked to write it?
They came to me. It's the same producer. This is the producer I worked with before. And it was a mini-series, so it was like 2 checks for basically 1 long script. And the thing is, the nice thing was I didn't have to do that much research. I knew the story. I certainly knew the area. It's like 5 blocks from here where the body was found. And some of the people I interviewed, I already knew. They were friends, that I could talk to, who knew him. Judy Wicks, who runs the White Dog restaurant, is a friend of mine. So I could just, hey, Judy, tell me about,
And she knew him.
Oh, yeah. She's in the book, I think, she may be. So, the hard part was you got 2 nights. You got nobody to root for. How do you, so I had, and that was, I couldn't even tackle the script until I said, look, who are we going to root for? So we made it the father of Holly Maddox, of the victim. Tom Skerritt plays it beautifully. But the thing is, he's a wonderful actor, nice man too. But The thing is, in real life, I probably would have hated Holly Maddox's father. I have a feeling he was a real Texan redneck who I would not have gotten along with at all. So in some respects, it was very dishonest. But the audience has to root for someone. And the second evening when he dies, and her sister takes over for like the last 2 acts. But by now, we're hunting him, and you've got the cops.
So is that a rule? That's a rule of dramatic writing. You've got to have somebody to identify with.
Someone to root for.
Like.
And yet you can do it with, like I just taught Psycho today. And you're rooting for Janet Leigh in the first 35 minutes, and she's an embezzler.
Right.
And then you start feeling sorry for Anthony Perkins when his car won't go under and there's bodies in it, you know.
Right.
So that doesn't mean they have to be, you know, goody two-shoes and, you know, Julie Andrews and stuff. But yeah, you have to have a rooting interest, at least in my stuff, I think. I don't want to write something where you don't have a rooting interest. I don't want to go see something like that.
Okay. I was looking at the Internet Movie Database, and I saw that you have a writing credit for the show Roseanne.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I paid for my kid.
Uh-huh.
Somebody else get even with them. Yeah.
That was, I guess, early in your career.
Yeah, that was 15 years ago.
What was that like?
I was in L.A. and I'd been pitching a blue-collar series 2 years before. And America doesn't want to see that. This is back when Dynasty and Dallas were big. I said, oh yeah, All in the Family, Real Bomb, Life of Riley, Honeymooners, terrible shows, nobody watched them. But this is the mindset. If it wasn't done last week, we don't want to be the ones to do it this way. So they kept shooting down this blue-collar show. I'd sold a spec on it called Belmont Avenue. And so they came to me and they said, you want to write? They were killing writers, you know, constantly. There was like a gallows in the parking lot next to the commissary.
I had heard that. I had read that.
Oh, yeah. It's back during the Tom Arnold days. I'm really going to take comedy tips from Tom Arnold. Give me a break. And so...
so he's not funny?
I wouldn't know. I never saw the episode.
Oh.
I wrote it. I didn't have to deal with them. And they offered me a staff job. Guaranteed me X amount of weeks, moving expenses. And I turned it down.
Oh.
And I said...
so you just wrote
one episent. And then they thought, gee, once he sees, you know, how much fun we are to work with and all this, he'll want to do it.
And why did you turn it down?
I lived on my own street at the time. I was 35 years old. I'm still living on my own street.
You didn't want to go to L.A.?
I hate L.A.
Yeah, that was a question of mine. I wondered, I mean, many screenwriters live in L.A., playwrights live in New York.
Right.
You have insisted upon living in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm a real mutant. That might explain my career, too.
But you're very successful. Obviously, you don't need to live in L.A. or New York. Do you travel there a lot, and do you feel there's any handicap to not being there?
Oh, there's definitely. My agents, various agents over the years have said, you know, a lot of it's a meet and greet thing, you know, go to this opening, meet this person, have lunch with this person. Lunch to me is something to be done by yourself with a magazine, you know. It's like, I'm not a big social person in that respect. And so, yeah, it does hurt a little bit. Luckily, I like to think I have the talent to say, look, just look at the sample and hire me on that. During the Dunston checks-in, I also wrote Anastasia, an animated thing. I racked up like 180,000 frequent flyer miles, a little bit over a year. I would come home on a Sunday night and be on a plane back out that Wednesday. Sometimes for an hour-long meeting. Come out and meet Meg Ryan, you know. And really, it cost them like $4,000 for me to sit at the end of the table, crack one lame joke, eat a couple bagels, and get back on the plane. You know, so it was...
So they just wanted you there to...
Yeah, exactly.
We
want to meet. She wants to meet the creative team. I said, go hire somebody. She doesn't know what I look like, you know.
I don't know. This sounds somehow like that Charlie Kaufman movie. Something about that you hear.
Oh, I never saw
adaptation.
it. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I think it was good. Yeah. Tell me what you're working on now. I mean, let's close with some thoughts about what your latest. I know you have the Philly fan.
Philly fan, waiting for Goldman. Listen to me. She's according to Goldman. I'm waiting for Godot. I'm doing. It's late.
Waiting for Guffman.
Yes, which I love. Yeah. According to Goldman, they're just having a casting meeting today about the New York production, which is supposed to go in the spring. I will believe it after it happens, but I did sign an option away.
Where in New York?
They're looking for a theater off Broadway, off Broadway, but they want to get a star for the part based on me.
And who would you like ideally?
Me. No, they're looking at the Richard Dreyfuss, somebody like that, you know, who I've written for before in a movie that never got made.
Old though.
What's that? Well, he's the character's 53 in the. I didn't want to be totally autobiographical. I made him a little older. Yeah. And I sold one of my old plays, Moon Over the Brewery, to ABC Family.
Okay.
Where you get notes like, I know it's about a 13-year-old girl, but our demographics are different. Can you make her a 17-year-old girl? And I'm considering that this play's been around for 15 years and nobody's ever bought the movie rights. I said, yeah, sure. You know, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
how much? Sure, yeah, I can do that. What color you want it? You got it.
Oh, well, that sounds great. I really like that play, by the way. It's very heartwarming.
Thank you. Not anymore. It's ABC Family.
Oh, now it's,
sturdy now.
17.
Yeah.
She's going to be very hot.
Yes.
Right.
Well, if I have anything to say about casting, yeah.
Anyway, I really want to thank you, Bruce
my
Kincrain,
pleasure.
for talking to us today. Thank you for joining us for the Drexel interview.